Well, greetings, Legacy Church family and friends. Thank you for taking a moment to check in with us today. It's Tuesday, May 12th, and we are still in the middle of this coronavirus social distancing event. And I don't know about you, but I think I'm getting tired of this thing. But here's what God is challenging me with today. Jesus said in John chapter 4, verse 34, that my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. Now, no doubt, Jesus had many obstacles in his way, placed there by those who didn't want him to accomplish what the Father had sent him to do. But Jesus was determined, he was passionate, he was undeterred to accomplish the will and the work that his Father had sent him to do. Now, friend, I know you were frustrated. I'm frustrated today as we try to figure out what of this thing is reasonable and what of this thing is ridiculous. And yet, here's my challenge. Let's think about what God has called us to do. What has God called me to do? What has God called you to do? Now, I know for some of us, much of what God has called us to do happens in this building, happens in our Sunday gatherings and our midweek gatherings. And yet, surely there are some things that God has called you and I to do, to accomplish, that don't require this building, and that don't require scheduled services. Things pertaining to our own spiritual health, disciplines that we need to put in our life and maintain for our own spiritual well-being. And ministering to others, ministering to our family members, those outside of our family members, ministering to our world. These are things that God has called us to do that don't require a building, they don't require a scheduled service. So let's focus on the things that God has called us to do today. We're being patient for a little longer on this thing, but as we do, maybe we ought to focus a little less on what we are told not to do and focus a little more on what God has called us to do. I think we'll be the better for it. I know that our world will be the better for it. And now that I've got you, would you allow me to remind you of tomorrow evening's Wednesday night gathering, 6 o'clock on Zoom? If you've not been able to gather with us before and would like to, just shoot me an email, tom.legacychurch@gmail.com, and would love to get to you the simple instructions on how you can gather with us. We also gather on Thursday at noon, the same Zoom platform. We'd love to have you join us there as well. So friends, until we see you again, let's focus on what God has called us to do and see what he can accomplish through us. God bless you, friend.